So now your child begins to grow, and from the age of 0 to 12, you have to understand as a parent that your role will change as the child grows. You can't have the same role all the time. From 0 to 12, you have the role of a boss. In other words, this child is depending on you for everything to help it to get over those years. And so we have what is called a lasso system. Lasso stands for five things: that you must love your child unconditionally. That means being kind to them, providing joy in their life, giving them priority, acceptance. That when the child does anything, when a child is young, as soon as they draw something, they run to dad and mom to see, to meet approval, to get acceptance from them. Do not say, hey, don't bother me, I'm watching the TV. Your child is looking for your attention. And so you have to be clued into that. Don't discriminate. Accept all your children equally. Security. S is for security. Make sure that they're safe and they are in an environment that is safe. Structure. You have got to provide structure for your children. There's certain time to sleep, certain time to eat, certain time to study, certain time to go to work, certain to go to school. I mean, when to, all of this, what kind of chores they're going to have. Those are the things that will live with that child. So the structure in the home is not where the children dictate the parent what to do. The parent has to be the boss and have to dictate to the child. So they learn these values and these things very early. And opportunities. You must expose your child when they're young to as many different events and activities. If they have to learn to swim, learn to ride horse, learn to, you know, expose them to as much variety of things that they can do, different kinds of games, different kinds of events, different kinds of knowledge learning, because you don't know which one of these is the gift that your child will bring to the world. And so don't limit the opportunities that you expose them to. Also, Islamic opportunities. Let them go to Islamic camps, seminars. Let them have as much opportunity that you can afford. Now, in the 0 to 12 stage of a child's life is the most important part of his life. That's when their personalities are formed. That's when they become who they really become. And so it is really important that we do many things during this time. And one of the primary things is that you've got to get your child to learn who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is, what is their relationship with Him, why they need to obey Him, that Allah sees them, that Allah will reward them. And so you've got to teach your children about Allah. You have to teach your children about Islam, teach your children to memorize some portions of the Quran, and to teach your children to recite the Quran. They're perfectly capable to learn to recite the book of Allah from 0 to 12. In fact, they're perfectly capable of speaking basic Arabic within 0 to 12. Language. And so we've got to be able to help our child to do that. But it must be done in a way that they don't see Islam as a burden. It must be done in a fun way with games and songs and different ways that they begin to enjoy it. So in that early stage, you're doing a lot of imitating and memorizing for them to get them to do. Because so they're memorizing a lot of Quran as much as they can, and they're imitating following the salah, they're imitating making dua, they're imitating, they don't understand conceptually what they're doing, but they're following mom and dad. And if mom and dad is not setting an example, that child will not become the kind of parent things you want to do. So some of the other things in terms of this particular stage of a child's life, there's some parenting tips which I want to mention to you. If you're a parent, and even if you're not a parent right now, you are a child. These are important things for you to know as well. If you're a grandparent, you can also help. Everyone has to be connected. So number one, try to catch your child doing things right. Quite often, parents, we only loom up in front of the child when they do something wrong. They broke a glass, suddenly mom and dad appears from out of nowhere. When they're doing anything right, they don't see them. So the child begin to associate. Every time I see mom and dad, it's something, what did I do now? You must make sure that when your child do something right, you're there to catch them doing it, compliment them. A lot of times when we see children doing wrong things, we tell them, don't do that again. But we're not telling them how to do it right. You've got to be able to say to your child, The next time you do this, here is how you do it, and to teach them how to do it. Don't just tell them they're doing it wrong. You've got to be able to show them they're learning the world and trying to discover it through you. So you've got to say, here's how you do it the next time. Next time you fold a sheet, or you wash the glasses or anything, you've got to let them solve their problems. Give them a chance to think through their problems and try to solve it themselves. When children are accustomed to every problem they have, they run to mom and dad to solve it. When they grow up, they find themselves very unable to deal with the world when it comes at them. So in the beginning, you have got to tell your child comes with a problem. Mom, he's this or that. You have to say to the child, what do you think we should do? Let them think about the problem. What do you think we should do about this? What is your suggestion? So they begin to train themselves to become problem solvers. The other part of some parenting tips is we have to teach our children that the effort is what is important. A lot of time we teach our children the results is what counts. And so they go play the soccer game. We were talking about soccer earlier. And so the child plays so hard, but they lost the game. The parents say, oh, you guys suck. You're terrible at the game. But they played very, very hard. And you fail to recognize the effort. It is not about the result. Allah controls the result. We control the effort. Allah will ask us about the effort. He will not ask us about the result, because He's in charge of that. At-tawfiqu min Allah. Success is with Allah. And so we've got to teach our children, if they work hard, even if they didn't get the result they desired, you've got to reward their effort. The effort is what is the most important thing that Allah will look at. Teach your children to show respect for others by the way you treat them. Teach them what contentment means. We don't have time to go into the details of all of that, but contentment means that they are grateful for whatever they have at every moment of their lives. The other part of this is, from very early, train your children to understand that giving is better than asking for help. That give them opportunities to show and to demonstrate how to give. Take them out to the downtown project they have in Miami, where they feed the homeless. Let your child get an opportunity to give and see the effects and the beauty of giving. Let them learn to give rather than just receiving. And teach your children to be grateful for whatever comes at them, good or bad. Let them have this sense of gratitude. And teach your children to be forgiving, that people will hurt them. People will beat up on them. People will insult them. That they must try very hard to learn the secret of forgiving others. All of this you have to do within the 0 to 12 years. Teach them to be confident that we are Muslims. Allah loves us. Allah is the most powerful being, and He will protect us. Do not be afraid. Go after whatever your hearts desire. Let them be confident in themselves and take pride in being Muslims and being believers. Help them to develop a love of learning very early by giving them books to read, taking them to the library, working with them. Let them learn the beautiful skill of doing chores. And you don't have to pay them to do the chores. Let them understand that part of life is that all of us have to chip in and help out with the chores. It's part of who we are. And so you must give your children chores from very early. Help your child. Some children are shy. You've got to discover each child, what their particular weaknesses are, and help them. A lot of children, sometimes they're shy. We have to help them to socialize and to learn how to make friends. If your child have anger problem, you've got to monitor that very closely and help them to be able to navigate that and to deal with the anger. And lastly, the 3 qualities of hypocrisy. We have to teach them: do not lie, do not break your promise, and do not, whenever you're given any assignment, try to fulfill it. And so those are just some quick, broad brush in terms of some of the things that we need to accomplish from 0 to 12.